Hello, everybody. Welcome to the episode number 14 of this series of interviews that I'm going to be conducting to the best European players who qualified for Worlds in Anaheim 2025 this August. And today's guest is DanneWWW. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here.
So tell the audience a little bit about yourself, your age, what you do for a living, how you get close to the game, and maybe, I don't know, your nickname origin. This is a question that I usually don't ask, but yeah, it's actually an interesting question.
Yeah, I've got it a couple times on interviews in Play Pokemon as well, so I guess I'll repeat it. But yeah, my name is Daniel. I'm 27 at this point, I think.
Are you sure? Okay.
I think so. Should be 27, but yeah. I live in Sweden. I have done a bachelor's in chemistry, and currently I'm working on air environment testing for larger industries and such. So yeah, cool. That's a bit of recap of what I do. I got into Pokemon. I've played most of the main series games up until the very recent ones while growing up, and then got into Pokemon Go pretty much right at the start, and then, as most people did, took a break in the middle, and then actually my parents got me back when gifts became a thing, because they were constantly bothering me because they kept playing. Because at the start, me and my brother started playing, and then we got our parents into it as well, and then me and my brother quit, and our parents continued, and then gifts became a thing. So they were writing me every other day, like, hey, when are you going to send a gift to us? So it's yeah, fine, I guess I'll re-download the game and send you gifts once in a while. And then, yeah, started playing PvP from that. And then, yeah, here we are. So
yeah, that's cool. That's cool. So it must be a Swedish thing that having your parents grinded the game. Also, yeah, David has his father.
Yeah, true.
Has competed. So
yeah. Yeah,
cool.
That was a very, very fun match when they played each other in Stockholm. That was quite fun. So
yeah, he will probably was denied the dinner that night. Yeah.
Yeah. True.
And where does your nickname come from? I mean, Danne,
I
guess
right.
It's pretty self-explanatory, but yeah, the triple W at the end.
Yeah, it's kind of exactly what you'd imagine, that Danne is like a shortening of Daniel, and then the W's are for my last name starts with a W, and then the nickname was from when I was a shorter, smaller lad, and just discovered the internet, and was like, oh, hey, every website starts with a W or 3 W's, and then I'm just gonna put it in my name. So yeah,
no, that's cool.
Where it came from.
Yeah, that's a very, very cute origin, actually. Yeah.
And at this point, I kind of just kept it because it's annoying for commentators to say it. 3 W's in a row.
It's much longer than it looks like. Yeah.
So yeah, kind of fun.
So okay, let's jump into your season.
Yeah.
So yeah. You got a 33rd place in Lille, and then you actually went way better in Gdansk, so 7th place. So yeah, you missed out on day 2 on Birmingham. I wonder whose fault was that? And
someone else in this room might have been responsible.
And then UIC didn't go too well, but then you got a very nice medal in your home country. So we'll get to that. We'll definitely get to that, because there was the result that stands out the most in your season for sure.
I'm not entirely remembering how the team, but I think the team started basically with Diggersby and Toxapex being a very good core, and then having Drapion as the third for that was probably the start of it. And then I just added a couple of things that I felt I was comfortable with and that did decent in the meta. I think the Malamar was to break up opposing Toxapex Diggersby's cores and other things weak to fighting. And then just kind of the same thing with Dugong, because I think Dugong was one of the like sleeper picks for that meta, because it was at least neutral into everything, because there was no real fighting types at the time. So, or there was like the occasional Annihilate, I think, but that was after the Annihilate nerf, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think there was a huge amount of fighters around. So
yeah,
that
Pangoro Pangoro was a thing.
Yeah, that thing is, I don't know. It's only
Very
Tomahawk that
annoying.
thinks it's good. So yeah, that was kind of the basic. It wasn't the most creative of teams, but yeah, that was kind of where it came from.
Yeah, and I see that you brought Dugong again in Gdansk. So both you and your fellow countryman Galactic Bolton are Dugong enjoyers.
Yeah, definitely. I think we both have been running Dugong a lot, and the Gdansk team was kind of inspired by Galax, because he ran double eyes for Lille, I'm pretty sure, and was very happy with it. So I decided to do the same for Gdansk with the Sunslash and Dugong, because yeah, as I said again, there was very few fighters around, and they were practically free. Besides oh yeah, that was the I got destroyed by a Golissopod from Patamon. That was.
Oh, okay. Was that regional? Yeah.
Yeah, it was. That was in the top. As you can see, my team is quite weak to Golissopod. There's like Jugong is bad, Marowak is bad, Malamar is bad, Sunslash is really bad. So yeah, that was ended up being a bit of a problem. But yeah, that was quite a fun trip. I also got to play one of my other teammates for the win and in for top 8, which was quite fun.
Yeah, so nice points. A
Yeah,
little bit of prize money for you as well, which never hurts.
No, not at all. There was definitely, that's also one of the easier trips to get to from Sweden. So that was a pretty decent trip with getting most of the money back and a decent amount of points.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was very fun.
Nice. And then we have Birmingham. So so you skipped Stuttgart, which was the first meta where Annihilate was back again.
Yeah.
So how did you decide to team build for Birmingham?
I don't quite remember what I did for Birmingham. I think I just started with at kind of the same point as for Gdansk, that Drapion was the best Pokemon to use. Or, I mean, it has been for most of the 2 seasons we've had it now. So I pretty much started with that, and then I had Kanto Marowak to deal with opposing Drapions, and then just added some common things that were also pretty good at the time. And yeah, I was kind of hoping, I realized like the day before that Talonflame was going to be an issue for the team, but I was assuming no one was going to run Talonflame. But I was proven quite wrong with that one. Ran into, I think, 3 people.
Yeah, 3 different players.
Yeah, you were 2 of them. So yeah, that was had at least a 50% win rate of it, I guess. But yeah, Talonflame was quite an issue.
Yeah, although I never used it against you because you were keeping insisting on Azure and Drapion, rightfully so.
Yeah.
So I couldn't really like pivot.
No, that's fair.
My Talonflame. It was
I think the other opponents used it more, but I don't quite remember. Oh yeah, the winners finals was Ariados kind of killed me because I was too scared to run the Sunslash. But yeah, our matches were quite fun. You kept running Wigglytuff in every game. That was like you had Wigglytuff and Feraligatr, right?
Yeah.
That was kind of annoying.
Yeah, I figured I would run Wigglytuff because your Sunslash was, besides being risky as it was because of Talonflame, you also had Shadow Claw Sunslash.
Yeah.
So not even this dominant into Wigglytuff as it would be if if it ran powder snow.
Yeah, and you also kept running for Alligator, and it's a pretty terrible matchup for it as well. So I was, it wasn't the greatest time for it. So, yeah.
And then how did you decide to? I mean, what did you change and why from Birmingham to London? Because those two regional had the same meta. They're very close to each other, both geographically and time-wise.
Yep.
So I see you brought Clodsire.
Yeah, I think it was still for kind of similar reasons that I wanted something for opposing Dropions, and also something that was a bit better into Annihilate than the Counter-Marowak. I also wanted to run something. I really wanted to run Fair Alligator for this tournament because had been very impressed by it. So Clodsire was kind of the middle ground of a ground type that does the thing that you want from a ground type, but it also doesn't lose to opposing grasses. So that kind of frees up, should free up the Fair Alligator, because the rest of the team is pretty good into like the jump bluffs or superiors that you might encounter. So the plan was kind of to build a team that frees up Fair Alligator and then try and do as much damage with it as possible.
Yeah. Also, just to have a better place to use Annihilate, because yes, you have Annihilate for Alligator. You could potentially just lead for Alligator with Annihilate in the back.
Yeah.
And and still Jump Bluff was probably a little bit scared to be seeing Clodsire and Dugong. So definitely two very strong counters. Did you run it with Sludge Bomb or with Stone Edge?
I don't remember. I think I had Sludge Bomb.
You had Stone Edge. I just checked.
I had Stone Edge, yeah.
That's fine. Okay. So worst matchup into Azu, but better against Dugong.
Oh yeah, true. That's true. I don't. Yeah, I think I had some reasoning for Stone Edge, but I don't quite remember what.
Probably Talonflame.
Yeah, yes, that's true. I think it was Talonflame, because everything else is kind of, again, a bit iffy. Jumpluff doesn't want to see it. Drop-in is all right. The Annihilate is not great. Dugong is okay-ish. So
yeah,
I think it was that.
Yeah. So, and you went 3-2 in London.
Yeah.
And but you lost to two very good players. So probably nothing to be really regretful for.
No, I had it was a kind of fun tournament. The matches against Mega Junko in winner semis, I kind of got destroyed by the Pachirisu, or it was very annoying to deal with. But the games were very close and very fun. I kind of got trapped by it the one game he brought it, where I ran, I think, Dugong lead with for Alligator in the back, and I ran into Pachirisu lead, which wasn't ideal, but that was I had very little preparations before the tournament as well, so I wasn't too unhappy about it. It would have been great to make day 2 or further, but I wasn't too bothered by it because like I said, I had very little prep and wasn't too confident in the team.
Yeah. And then you lost to Kasim, who also went extremely well throughout the whole season. So not I mean, nothing to be really ashamed of. And
no, not at all. The games against him were also very close. I think at least one of them came down to I led for Alligator into his Drapion, and he got the Aquatail bait, which means the matchup is suddenly very bad, as opposed to if he throw the Crunch or I no shield Aquatail. So that kind of killed one of the games. But it was a fun tournament overall, and it was nice to kind of take it easy and cheer on other people for day 2.
Yeah, and at that point, were you feeling a little bit of pressure from not having gotten any real good chunk of points so far at that point of the season. What were you placed at in the leaderboards?
I don't remember. I think I was pretty comfortable with it because I had gotten points from all the tournament because Lille was a pretty big tournament, so I still got like 100 points from that. And then Gdansk was the top 8, so that's what is it, 250 or 300 for top?
Top 8 was
280.
I think to 280. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Birmingham was 150 or something. So I was pretty fine with where I was. I was like 400 points at that point, and then after EUIC, which also got some points for, so I was pretty confident that I'm probably making Worlds no matter what, how the rest of the season goes. So yeah, wasn't too bothered with it.
Okay, so this allowed you actually just to show up in your home country and just enjoy whatever run you would have.
Yeah, exactly. That was also, funnily enough, probably the tournament I had the least prep for, since it was, what was it, a week or 2 weeks after the new season started? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I had some very busy weeks before that. So I think I had played maybe 100 battles of GBL at that point, and that was the only prep I'd had. So yeah, just kind of went with a team that looked fun, kind of built around Chargebug this time, that it looked very good into the teams that had been played before, because there was a lot of double water. So I wanted to run that and then try and scare off Diggersby.
I mean, we have been having doubled or triple water for maybe the whole season, basically. So yeah. And so Chargebug turned out to be pretty good overall, even against Clydal. It has some decent play. Yeah, and Colosai was basically disappeared from the meta, although you faced one in your very first round.
Oh, yeah, that is true. That's also against one of my locals. So I have played him quite a few times, but yeah, that was. I think Golisopod was the key for that match in specific. That it was very good into that, and then that kind of made Cloudsire harder to run for him because Golisopod just destroys it in 1s or 2s. So yeah. That was...
Any other games that are worth to be talked about? I guess probably all of them, because it was a nice run.
It was very nice. I had a lot of regional winners on the schedule for that one, but yeah, all of them were quite fun. I think most of them were on stream, so if anyone is interested, you can always look back at those. But yeah, I mean, always the match against Patoman was very fun. I got to use Drapion very effectively, and then ran into a brick wall called PvP David twice, and then that was the end of it. So.
Yeah, and I guess Pangoro was very hard to deal with, right?
Yeah. I also kind of realized a bit too late for the losers finals that he just safe swapped it all the time, because it was so free. So I was always playing around that he could lead it, even though he, I think, played all 4 games with it as the safe swap. So I should have probably adapted earlier and then play at least one of the games I could have taken by playing a bit better. But yeah, it was a very difficult matchup.
Yeah, it would have been very, very hard regardless, because unless you pulled Chargebug on it.
Even that's what I did in one of the games, but he just, if he gets 1 Night Slash on it, then he wins 2s against it, which is really annoying because he just is a bit faster. So yeah, but that was that whole top 3 was kind of interesting because It was Nickname that won the tournament, and I was looking at his team, and I would have had a fantastic matchup into Nickname, but it just ended up playing out that I played David, which I had no chance against, and then David went against Nickname, which he had no or very little chance against. So yeah, maybe it would have been.
That's all those sliding doors. Yeah, that's sometimes you just have to face the right team at the right moment.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and
yeah. So yeah, had I faced Nickname earlier, then yeah, maybe I would have had the upper edge. But yeah, that's how it goes.
But still, this allows you to definitely put your qualification in the safe.
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, more points, more money, more Pokemon cards.
Yep.
So yeah, definitely very, very good performance to top your season off. Especially, especially in Sweden. Are you from Stockholm too, or
no? I'm living. It's like 2 to 3 hours south, depending on where in Stockholm you're going. So
okay.
But yeah, it's still like a pretty easy trip. It's a train ride for a couple hours, and then you're there. So
okay, so you didn't drive; you actually took the train.
Yeah. I don't have a car myself, so yeah, train was the best option.
Okay. Well, you are in a country where the public transport actually does work.
That's true. It tends to be a bit late, but besides that, it's very functional.
And okay. So any regrets for this season? Would have you loved to play some match differently? Is there something that haunts you at night for how sloppily you played certain games?
Not that I can remember. I think all of them were like at least had chances in all of the losses. I think the one I might regret the most might be the second game against you in Birmingham. That one might be the one where I played the worst, but overall I'm pretty happy. Or I actually think of it. I think in the second loss in Lille, I could have made that run further. I had a slightly unfortunate group draw where I ended up facing the regional winner in round 2 and got destroyed by him, and then had to try my best to do a run from all the way in the losers bracket. But
yeah, especially because your team wasn't that strong into Ariados, so I guess we might have abused Ariados. And
Ariados and Quagsire. He played Quagsire so amazingly. Like, it was quite ridiculous how good he played it. So yeah, Ariados and Quagsire was very hard to deal with. And then tried to make it as far as I could. Could have maybe made it like a game or two further, but yeah, that's how it went.
Yeah, well, now you can just look back and be okay with it, because you got your world qualification, and if you didn't really have any particular traveler word aims from the start, you just wanted to qualify and to enjoy the season and to have some nice experiences, probably this is everything you could hope for. And this is okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and so I wanted to ask you this question, but probably I mean I might already know the answer since we already touched this topic. So who was the toughest player or match you faced this season? Probably PvP David with Pangoro in Stockholm, right?
Yeah, I think on paper that was the hardest one, because the teams were just so skewed in his favor that it was very hard to try and find a good way to work around it. I think I probably the match that I got beat the hardest was the first game in Lille against Boom, but that was just because he played it so cleanly and so good that I just couldn't do much about it. I think I had slightly unfortunate leads also, but he just played it flawlessly, so I couldn't get out of anything. So
yeah, and at least you can cope saying that you lost to the winner. And
yeah, exactly. That's the best
but
way.
it's always so unfortunate when you get paired with a very good player who is who is unseeded, and and on one hand you wish they changed this rule. On the other hand, it's something you can't really predict or just be prepared for.
Yep. Yeah, that was kind of your seat for a while, right? For last season, when you were the landmine that people got in round 1 or 2 and were really scared of playing.
Yeah, but last season I just played twice, just in 2 regional, just both British states, and I went terribly in Liverpool, and just went a little bit better in the in London, but just lost one game away from winning the losers finals in my group. So I got prevented from entering the day 2. But I wouldn't have qualified for Worlds regardless, because unless I went extremely well on that day 2, so it wasn't really a thing. I didn't play any locals that year.
Oh yeah.
So it was like, okay, I'm going just because it's close to my home, but not really planning on attending.
Yeah, there was a Galax Cobalt in your way, right?
In Liverpool, yes.
Yeah.
But he beat me pretty solidly, and
he's pretty good, that guy. It's pretty all right.
That guy's good. That guy's good.
Yeah, he sure is.
And so it just happens sometimes where you face in losers final. Oh, sorry, in losers bracket you face someone that shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
And you are already 1 round down.
Yeah.
And you say, "Oh, come on! You are supposed to go to winner finals in your group. Why are you in the way? Why now do you have to beat me out of this tournament?" Yeah, and just sometimes sometimes it's never your tournament. Sometimes it's always your tournament, and when everything goes your way or everything doesn't, the game works like this. And sometimes you are the RPSer, sometimes you are the RPSC, as these values told me, and I think it's very wise words.
Yep, true. Yeah, at least now with the seeded brackets, we don't get as much of it. I remember Gdansk in 2024, I think, where I got paired against Nickname in round 1 and then lost to him narrowly, and then I got Alejandro in losers round 1, and we were both like, why what are you doing here? Why are we playing already? So one of us had to go 0-2, and fortunately it wasn't me that time. But
I was having a look at your 2024 season.
Yeah.
And except for one outlier, which was Utrecht, you got 25th place in every event.
Yep. That's accurate.
Yeah, that's nice. I hate to see that 5th place so much, because it just destroys the perfect regularity of.
At least ends in a 5. But
and actually, it's a square root of 25.
Oh, yeah, true.
Well,
so. True.
Yeah. And so I actually could see from last year you were a really fervent and fervid Chargeback fan. Yeah.
That was kind of the Chargeback meta as well. It helped a lot that Chargeback was actually good then. But then I kind of stopped playing it for a bit because I didn't think it was that good. But realistically, I mean, looking at Swilus's results from this season, I probably should have played more Chargeback.
Okay, but so the recurrent motive is just bring Chargeback to Stockholm. Whatever happens.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
That was
so you just have to think about the other 5 Pokemon for next year. But exactly. One spot is already secured. So one more question about how do you tackle the preparation time for regionals? So how long do you actually spend in team building, and how long do you actually spend preparing for regional?
This season it's kind of, or well, I guess for all of the season, it hasn't been that much. I have at this point kind of relied more on having played grassroots tournaments and enough GBL that I kind of know the matchup at least somewhat, and move counts and such for most of the Pokemon you might encounter, or at least the most common one in the metas. And then I usually don't spend too much time on either team building or practicing a bunch. I'm probably one of the people that spends the least amount of time on it, I would assume. But yeah, I mean, it has been working out so far. I'm probably going to do a bit more, or I'm planning to do a bit more preparations for Worlds this year and see how that pans out. But yeah, I usually don't do too much. But then again, I've played PvP for, what is it, 4 or 5 years at this point. So you kind of, after that long, you kind of get a feel for, oh, what does the Drapion into Diggersby matchup, what does it look like? How can either side get an advantage? Or you get a feel for roughly how much does this charge move do on that thing, or vice versa and such. So yeah.
Yeah, well, I suppose the damage ranges and the move countings are by now kind of rooted in our knowledge, at least for the most common picks. And if you like me come from the grassroots format, you already knew the credit matchups before it was a thing, or or tons of other examples like that, right? So in some sense, you already have done your play Pokemon practice just back in the past.
Doing, I think playing the grassroots tournament like Self back in the days, and now with Devon and Gym Breakers, and there's a few other ones that do like custom metas, and Battle Frontier as well, that do custom metas for and do tournaments with that. It's very fun to do for the main thing, but then also it's kind of useful to have, because then when you get a new Pokemon introduced that gets a buff in some way, or a tweak in some way, then you kind of already have an idea of how it's played, because in these limited metas you get things like Frostlass and Cradily that are super common because they're not quite at the top yet, but then if you remove the most common things, then they can really shine. So it can be very useful to play some grassroots custom limited metas.
Yeah, and the Pokemon that shine in restricted metas are usually the ones that you can use as core breakers for the play Pokemon format. Because once you dig a little bit, once you dig a little bit deeper in the rankings, and you see that apart from the top 40, there are a lot of less considered Pokemon that, if you know how to use them, they actually can break some nice cores. If you didn't do custom metas, probably this piece of knowledge is still missing unless you practice a lot with core breakers. So a nice training ground, nice gym to be prepared for play Pokemon.
It also helps a lot, because then you get into some weird matchups it isn't as useful to know now, but in the past, knowing that there's a bunch of things that is gonna end on CMP, like Sableye and Venusaur and Swampert, and I think Frostlass as well, all kind of end in the same range of attack. So a lot of those matchups are gonna come down to CMPs, but you might not know that unless you've played the limited metas where those were very common.
Yeah, true.
Because I sure know I've lost as a Frostlass against a Venusaur, where my opponents just won CMP and then landed one Frenzy Plant and then they farm me down.
Yeah, like Venusaur is able to win the once against Frostless, which is insane. But
I mean, it shouldn't. It's a grass against an ice type, but that's how it goes.
There was some nice memories from another era.
Yeah.
But all this kind of knowledge are still very useful. So and
they're still good.
Sorry,
Pokemon
were you saying something?
No. It's just that like a lot of them are still good Pokemon. Like Swampert has been in and out of metas, and now it's kind of getting back in there with getting Sludge, but all of them have been somewhat meta. Even Frostlass, which is like the limited meta king that or queen, I guess. But that is just it appears in every limited meta ever that it's allowed because it's the most neutral pick ever, but it's not quite gotten there with play Pokemon meta. So
sometimes people did bring Frostless. I think in 2 years ago in Gdansk. No, I don't remember if it was in Gdansk or I mean it was a Polish regional for sure. So either finalist had the Frostless. And so it just makes an appearance from time to time, but not so regularly. Maybe I don't know. It kind of lacks some quicker pacing, I guess, which is crazy to say because I mean throwing hard hitting moves after 6. It's good pacing. It's
Avalanche in 12 turns. Yeah, it is. But I guess nowadays there's Dropions on every team, and there's water types on every team, and there's Golissopods and Sableyes, and all of those things. So, and Dusclops, and that's also probably a pretty bad matchup for it. So not quite at, or maybe I'll bring it to Worlds. Probably not.
Well, now with Hex, probably. I mean, you can try and make a better use of Frostless. And but although I really can't think of Hex Frostless. Just for me, Frostless is only Party Snow.
It feels like it functions better as an ice type that has ghost coverage than because the thing that was usually so good about it is that you set it up to farm something down, and then in a lot of the limited metas there was like nothing that resisted both ice and ghost, because it's like Bibarel that resists both. But so you set it up to farm something down, and you just throw all the energy and one shot everything.
And it was a very, very solid strategy that everyone being good at the game used. And and I think there is a clear distinction between old generation Pokemon, new generation Pokemon. Not the generation as one might intended in Bulbapedia, for example. But so the old generation Pokemon are Pokemon that with old fast moves then haven't been updated for a long time. For example, Powder Snow only had one update, I think, and Bullet Seed hasn't had an update in years.
Nope.
So there were lots of Pokemon that just couldn't keep the pace with other Pokemon receiving more and more buffs. For example, the Poison Sting users or the Crunch users. Now Crunch has become less useful, but Drapion is still stronger than ever, and it
just has everything. It has the coverage for everything and the speed for everything. It's the 8 turns to an Aqua Tail is just kind of nuts.
And also Pokemon just got faster and faster charge moves, so quicker ones. So there are clearly like top tier Pokemon and lower tier Pokemon, and this distinction has been made by how often and how relevant the updates were. To make Clydol meta, it took 10 updates.
Something like it's there's always a Cladle buffer, and it gets a new move here and a buffed move here, and then suddenly it's kind of good.
And however, it just took one more update to completely delete Claydol from the meta. So just buffing ghosts and actually buffing bugs and indirectly so ghosts.
Yep.
So yeah, Claydol just completely disappeared. So yeah. Now we are just getting into this new meta, and yeah. So I need to know from you, your impression after you saw NAIC, and in your opinion, what kind of trends are you anticipating in the light of what happened in NAIC and in the Japan qualifier?
Yeah, I haven't kept up with it too much. I watched some of the NAIC, of course, and took a quick look at the Japan teams, which looked quite different, which was very interesting. Otherwise, the NAIC teams looked very similar to what I'd theory crafted before. I was kind of sitting on, I was talking a bit with Marcus and some other teammates before NAIC of like, oh, what would you run if you were at NAIC? And I think I said I would have started with Dusclops plus Drapion and then went somewhere from there, probably ending up with something quite similar to Elim's team, because I'm a fan of Golisopod, which also looks very good in this meta. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where it goes, if it looks exactly the same, because there were some quite similar teams in NAIC that made Top Cut, it felt like. There was, I mean, kind of Swilus and Patoman that had the differing teams, but then a lot of the others were kind of similar, with a couple picks swapped here and there. There's an Araconid on Axon's team and Golisopod on Elim's, but yeah, it's going to be interesting. I haven't thought about it, started thinking about it too hard yet. So yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, maybe not even that important to get flustered about it right now, because it's still 2 months away. Yeah. Actually, no longer 2 months away. It's 1 month and a half away. Yeah. But yeah, the meta can silently shift 10 times, so you will never know about it, because we don't have any occasion to look at official PvP usage.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and it feels like this world is going to be a bit more tricky than last year, given that there's only going to be these 2 major tournaments before it. So with NAIC and the Japan qualifiers looking quite different, it's kind of hard to know which build of teams is better. Is it like the NAIC with Dusclops and Drapion, and then Diggersby and Dedenne and Lapras and a Bug Water? Is that going to be like the standard 6? Or is it going to be something more along the Japanese teams that I don't quite remember what they played?
But a lot of scissors. So a lot of scissors.
Yeah, a lot of scissors.
And still a lot of Drapion and Dusclops. But
yeah, of course.
And many more Arachnids, for sure.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah.
Some Lantern here and there.
Oh yeah, right, that Lantern.
Yeah, which can be a nice pick actually, because with Water Gun, you beat basically all the ground types, or at least you have a toe-to-toe match, toe-to-toe matchup until the very end, and you still pick the 0 and the 1s against most common waters.
Yeah.
So
has a decent matchup into Drapion, covers the flyers like Mandibus and such, and I imagine it's pretty decent to Dedenne as well.
Yeah, you win the 0 because 2 parabolic charges that do not KO. But of course, the more shields Dedenne uses, the worse for you it just gets.
Of course.
And this is true for all the matchups, basically.
Yeah. That's kind of the both interesting and terrifying thing about Dedenne, that it's just ramps up to being unkillable. So have we had anything that buffs its defense like that before? That's been very common? I don't think so, right?
No, I think no. That's the first move that is so strong and buffs your defense with such a frequency? Because we had Skull Bash, but Skull Bash is slow.
Yeah, it's really slow. And usually it's debuffing the opponent's attacks, but then you can always play around by just swapping out with against like Dugongs and Cradleys and Bubble Beam users. Then it's a very interesting dynamic that it just wants to stay in as long as possible to get as tanky as possible.
Yeah. Or which side are you? Are you on the side of those who will want to play the Dane because he's actually very strong and no one can deny it, and because it just forces a lot of line from the opponent and just gives you some more information prior to locking in? Or are you on the other side where you won't be bringing the Dane because everyone will try and wall it?
I'm probably more on the side of I won't bring it, not specifically because I think people are going to counter it, which is kind of hard to do, to be frank, unless you like bring double ground or something, or I guess a grass that's superior, maybe, which isn't that great in the grand scheme of things. But I'm more so not a huge fan of the Denne's play style. I tend to stick to more of the things that I'm comfortable and familiar with how you would play them out. So it often ends up being a lot of these very spammy energy efficient Pokemon like Sableye and Drapion that you can store a bunch of energy, swap out, throw the energy where it's more needed, and then I prefer to play a bit more of a flexible playstyle than staying in as long as possible or playing the I could never bring like Bastion or something like that because I just don't know what to do with it. I'm really bad at these like very RPS prone Pokemon. I want my neutral spammy Pokemon.
Yeah, that's weird to refer to the Dennis and RPS Pokemon because he's actually very good in neutral matchups, but it's also RPS because being so good usually means that everyone will try and break the walls for it.
Yeah,
it just becomes RPS not because it is RPS per se, but because people have to RPS it in order to beat it.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird dynamic, but it's kind of the same that's happened with Drapion a bit, that you have to try and bring like a K-Whack or a Mud Slapper, and even those aren't great, but you kind of have to try and run those just because it can beat everything else if you're not careful. So
yeah. And before Kanto Marowak was a thing, for example, right? So and then people just started bringing Kanto Marowak because Drapion Say Swap was
unbeatable,
unplayable against.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are approaching to the end of the interview, but I have a couple of more questions.
Yep.
So, let me see. A Pokemon that you are not planning to bring in Worlds because you don't feel you have enough guts, but it would be nice if someone brought it for you because you are curious to see how it performs and you think it might be actually kind of good.
At this point, it might have to be Charjabug. Realistically, I don't think I'm bringing it, but I'm kind of tempted, and I would like to see how it can do, because it should be plenty good, but I'm just a bit scared with. Now I think for NAIC, Diggersby was the most common Pokemon. At least for day one, it had like a 45% usage, something like that, I think. And then it's kind of scary because Diggersby is really bad for. I mean, you can always build around it, but it kind of limits you. But also with the Dene being around, then it's kind of hard to play if your opponent has a Dedenne and a Diggersby. You would have to build your team very carefully or take a bit of risk that I don't think I'm willing to do for it. So Yeah,
Okay.
I think Chargeback would be fun to see someone do. At least someone playing.
Yeah, and I believe someone will definitely do, because I think we need more electric type that have a different type of matchup profile against the meta, respect to the Denne, because the Denne is going to be that's the most common electric type, but you actually need something that is less RPS against ground types, and that potentially just gets back some bullet punch resistance, which the Denne currently doesn't have.
Yep.
So a more a more typical electric type that does more electric thing and fewer fairy things.
Yeah,
might be nice.
Chargeback also has the kind of interesting turn now that you could run Bug Bite on it after the buff. That I haven't looked at what those matchups look like, but I imagine it's quite a bit better against things like Diggersby and Cradley, even though Cradley is pretty playable. Maybe not against Acid, but it's kind of gonna be kind of interesting pick. It also has, I mean, it obviously beats all the waters with Volt Switch, but also has very neutral play into Drapion and most other things. It's just the ground types that is really scary.
And I believe with Buckbite you actually have probably just a more neutral matchup, or at least less dramatic matchup into Diggersby for sure. And you can run it with Crunch if you're scared about the ghosts, right?
Yeah, you could. That is also a thing if you want to cover the Dusclops or eventual Dusknars or those kind of things. Yeah, you can definitely run Crunch.
So guys, take notes. There's actually a nice pick to explore.
Yep.
At least in GBL, and but I'm gonna also probably just try it.
Yeah, should be interesting. It's kind of suffering then from the Drapion syndrome that it wants all the different fast moves and all the different charge moves, but sadly you can only pick one fast move and 2 charge moves.
Maybe in the future we'll have 3 charge moves available.
Yeah, imagine Drapion with Aqua Tail, Crunch, and Sludge Bomb. That is terrifying.
Well, it will be terrifying unless they nerfed a little bit Poison Sting.
Yeah.
So if they rebalanced in this way. So speaking of which, we actually are getting into the topic of looking forward, or just try and speculate a little bit. So I know we are just a couple of weeks in the new season. So all the moveset are still new, but for the post Worlds, is there anything you are hoping that's going to be buffed or nerfed or modified?
That I don't think. I usually don't, or I'm not really interested in doing too much speculating, or like I just look at the changes when they appear. The meta looks pretty healthy as it is now. There's a lot of picks you can use, and maybe some typings are a bit underused, like there aren't a lot of steel types and fire types, maybe a bit undervalued at the moment. But I think besides that, like, you can play a lot of things, even things that doesn't necessarily show up in Play Pokemon Tournament. There's a lot of fun stuff that you can use for GBL, like Fortress or Gligar or Jellicent, that aren't that common, but they're still very good Pokemon.
Yeah.
Kind of, it's also hard to say this early into a meta where you haven't gotten bored of getting rage fisted over and over again.
We are just speculating, but for sure there are tons of Pokemon that are as viable as the Pokemon that we have seen winning a regional so far, or an event. And I believe the more we progress into the years, the more impactful the updates have been.
Yeah, definitely.
So for the last 2 or 3 updates, we had huge update with lots of upsets, lots of ranking upsets, lots of trash Pokemon becoming suddenly very good.
Yeah.
And very meta centralizing. So yeah, I'm expecting this trend will be kept for the next one, because it's so nice to have a ton of fresh air every 3 months. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It's nice to not just see the Azumarill and Registeel. I mean, Azumarill you see all the time, but Azumarill is kind of the outlier where it's Azumarill is the constant of
Yeah,
Pokemon Go
yeah.
PvP.
Looks like now
it's always there.
Yeah, looks like. I mean, just at least from my GBL experience so far, everyone just got back to basics and just started back running Azumarill again. And probably maybe that's because they are not to be scared with all these new dragons that we have seen. So Como and Regidrago. So yeah, we are seeing more Azumarill. Also Greninja after Pato and I think Cisvalis as well use them. Yeah. So they got a nice showcase of Greninja, and so people are rightfully scared, and I understand why, because Greninja is one of those Pokemon that with a couple of fast moves of advantage can just wreak havoc. So Azu will never die, will it?
Nope. It just I feel it's always been there. I think the time it's been worse was like when Registeel was the king, when it just got Sap Cannon, and then Azumarill was kind of unplayable. But ever since Reggie got nerfed, then it's back on top. To Marcus's great chagrin, you just can't get rid of it.
We will see how many Azu we will see in Anaheim, but we are getting to a wrap with the questions. The last question that I'm going to ask you is to tell our audience where they can find you and they can follow you, and if you do any coaching, make sure you give the audience all the information they need.
I don't do much of anything to be honest. I think I have a Twitter account probably, or X at this point, but there might be a grand total of 0 posts on that one, and then so not that much to promote. Go check out my teammates or something at Snowbird Tappers. Maybe.
Okay, so speak with his teammates if you guys want to contact Danne. So make sure you make contact with
I mean,
with Marcus.
I use Discord pretty frequently, so if someone wants to contact me for someone, find me on a Discord server somewhere. Or I mean, I guess I could do some promotions for Gym Breakers, which is a country team format, which me and a couple of others, or mainly Normix, is hosting and has been hosting for a while, and we're gonna be starting up a new season in 2 weeks, I think, is the start of it. So if someone has a couple of friends or they would like to join a team of countrymen or other countries, then sign up for that. It's going to be fun. It's 8v8 with a remixed version of one of the Devon metas. Do you remember which one?
Yeah, Pillar.
Yeah. So sign up for that. It's going to be fun. Yeah,
definitely good shout out at Gym Breakers, which is one of the most loved formats for in the grassroots scene, has been doing so for years, and definitely long time partnership with Seal first and Devon after, which have been creating meta so far. So definitely join the Gym Breaker server. I will put everything down in the description. And
they have some very talented meta builders, I've heard.
And I think some of them might have also won the season individual leaderboard. But this is a story for another time.
True.
I should probably interview that guy.
You should.
Okay, so thanks, Daniel, for this chat. It's been really nice and really fun. I hope you got your a good time too, and looking forward to speak with you in person this summer.
Yeah, for sure.
Have a great rest of your evening, and take care and speak soon.
Yeah,
Bye.
you too.